Hey, my super beautiful, lovely, gorgeous souls. Welcome. Today we're working on Aries twin flame separation, soul's connections to Aries Leo, Aries Sagittarius. If you're an Aries duo, please comment and I'll do a special reading for that. But as for now, we're just going to focus on these signs. Okay, so Aries is your fire sign, a twin flame. If you'd like to get the messages here today, stick around. Why not hit that subscribe button so you can see these types of readings on a weekly, monthly basis and a weekly basis to help you out with all of your separation needs. Without further ado, we're going to get right into this, and I will leave timestamps, and we're going to start with Aries and Leo. So Aries and Leo, twin flame separation. Let's get some of the energies leading up to separation, some of the energies maybe that this particular union is carrying. Let's do that for Aries and Leo. Now, you can feel like the divine masculine or the divine feminine. Just because you're female doesn't mean you're the divine female. Just because you're masculine doesn't mean you're the divine masculine. So just keep that in mind. It also can read differently. Like you can resonate more with the Leo energy if you're the Aries, or the Aries energy if you're the Leo. It's really how the energies come together and what you need to hear. Okay, so just worry about what resonates. So all right, so I'm feeling like this was a really, this is a really good pairing. Was a good pairing too. I feel like these two coming together, to me, I feel like, I don't know if this was like you met online or you were talking online or doing a lot of online stuff, but somebody pursued faster and more than the other. Okay, I feel like the other energy was sort of just kind of like out there and maybe felt like you couldn't tie them down. They felt more like a free agent, free spirit type energy, and the other part of this energy was more connected, more grounded, more practical, more like a mothering, nurturing, stable, supportive, secure, that type of energy. Okay, so two very different energies coming together. And obviously to learn from one another, okay? So I feel like one of you feels like this is the world, okay? The world is crumbling in separation, okay? And the other feels that, only time will tell, and they're a little bit more lackadaisical about it. So let's get some more cards. Let's get the divine feminine sort of perspective in here. This could represent wounds, things that need to be worked on, things like that. Sort of the things that need to be dealt with in separation, or energies that are being carried in separation that need to be worked out. Divine feminine, let's get some cards for you. All right, we're getting stripped down, and a no answer. Okay, so divine feminine, if you had a question, we're going to put the no answer card aside and we're going to get another card. If you had a question in mind, divine feminine, it's a no answer. Okay, it could apply to anything. Preconceived notions you had coming into this reading, a question that's been burning in your mind. At this time, it's a no answer. And the other card we're getting is mercy. Okay, so I feel like the divine feminine is really tortured here. I feel like she's sort of tortured. I feel like she feels like she has nothing left. She's been stripped bare. I also feel like she bared her soul to this person and she didn't get back what she put out. Okay, like in other words, she was willing to strip herself down and be bare to this person, and she didn't get back that response, if that makes any sense. She also maybe revealed too much, or she put too much into it or out there without having sort of solid base, if that makes any sense, like a solid connection base with this divine masculine in her life. But she was willing to stay this way, I feel like. She has to give herself mercy. The divine feminine is sort of, I feel like, trapped in this very naked state where she almost feels like she shared everything. There's nothing else to share. There's nothing else to do. There's nothing else to say. But she's trapped in this, like, sort of energy of like this sadness and this self-punishing, I almost want to say, where she needs mercy here, okay? And only you, Divine Feminine, can give yourself, you know, that mercy. So let's talk about the Divine Masculine sort of energy pull into this reading here. The Divine Masculine in this connection. Maybe something that they're struggling with, something that is sort of a shadow needs to be healed. So let's get some energy call in for that, the Divine Masculine. Divine Masculine is self-focused and distracted, okay? They're in an immature energy. I feel like they, I don't want to say being like this typical guy where they want to just, you know, play their video games and chat online and do their self and hang out with their friends and no seriousness, no commitment whatsoever, no nothing. I feel like they want to do what's good for them. They need to do what's good for them in the energy they're in because they have not grown. They need growth. They need to come out of that. It's almost like a childish, like a teenage energy, okay? Where they're more focused on what they're doing in the next 5 minutes with their buddy. You know, bro stuff is coming over. They're more like that. They're not into this like the Divine Feminine is. I also feel like they may feel like they got what they wanted out of this or got what they needed out of this, and they're not as connected. They're just in an energy where they'd rather just go by the seat of their pants and whatever, and yeah, man, you know, like this goofy kind of like, I don't know, like this dude bro like energy I'm picking up here in this connection. So they're placing more importance on their other connections outside of this. They have no clue that this is twin flame. They don't even know what that is. I feel like they're very unevolved. They're not in anything. They're not in tune with themselves. Only self-focused, meaning what's good for them, what's going to be good for them, okay? So let's ask now, too, what type of energy, you know, is this carrying? It could be energy to adopt or release on both your parts, okay? So we'll talk about energy to release or adopt, you know, for the Divine Feminine. The Divine Feminine has regrets. So I feel like Divine Feminine is punishing herself here because we're getting the mercy. I feel like, you know, she feels like she's going to change this guy. She feels like she's going to make him be what she wants him to be, or she's going to, you know, change his focus in some way. Or, you know, she may feel like she didn't say enough, or she didn't get to clear the air for herself. And she's very much hanging on to that. So to release that regret feeling, because I feel like nothing you could have really done here was going to change this energy that Divine Masculine is in. I feel like they're just being kind of very selfish and immature right now. And then they are in a fear. Okay, so they're fearful of commitment. They're fearful to stop doing what they're doing. They want to play and they want to have fun. They're in a very immature energy. They need to explore life a little bit more. They need to have more challenges come to them, more consequences come to them. They haven't had that happen yet. Okay, so that's why the energies are so different here between the two of you. So let's get some advice from the Work Your Light Oracle. We'll bring some light into this. Advice going forward for the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine. Divine Masculine's a little bit stuck in his energy of, you know, wanting to have fun and party. I almost get like a college life vibe, or somebody that's unsure of what they want to do in life and they're distracted by, you know, whatever it is around them in their environment and the people, and they're just not moving. They're irresponsible. All right, Divine Feminine. What lights you up? The rite of passage, crossing the threshold. These are interesting energies for you, Divine Feminine. I feel like only you can free yourself, and I feel like that's a big challenge for you and something that you need to do so you can take the next steps that you need to take. You can't focus on him, the Divine Masculine, because his energy is not changing in this time. I feel like he's so afraid to be something different. He's afraid of his feelings. He's afraid to acknowledge love or attraction or whatever. He's like afraid to feel those things. He's afraid to, you know, step into his power. He's just kind of like in a powerless way. So I feel like this is about you to step into your power and you know, sort of like bringing out the truths of this connection, the truths of what's going on with him, the truths of what's going on with you, the truths of the future for you, like what you need to focus on, like all that. I feel like a new way sort of has to be taken for you, like a new direction completely that's away from this. I mean, you can still think about this person. You can still, you know, want or care or need or put some energy into it, but you're going to take energy away from yourself, you know, where you need more focus for you. Because I feel like there's some gifts here, some beautiful gifts that you may be a healer. So let's get some for the Divine Masculine. So we're getting the ever unfolding rose cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. And Sisterhood of the Rose, beauty and devotion, mystic teacher. They're like not learning their lessons. I feel like they're just not learning yet. They're like, I mean, if you can picture like a bud of a flower that's not yet developed, and then the rose has to, you know, the ultimate thing is to develop into a rose, and then the cycle repeats. They're sort of in a repeat cycle. They're sort of not learning their lessons. They're sort of not evolving and growing the way that they need to or should, because they have such heavy distractions. That's what I'm picking up here for that. So now let's pull in some, this will sort of be to tie up the reading and advice from angels. It could be timing. It could be something that they want you to hear or know or see when it comes to this. So let's get some for that. We'll get 2 cards for that. Okay. Communicate clearly. So I feel like if you have a chance to communicate with this Divine Masculine or vice versa, I feel like there might have not been clear communication in the past, so there might be an opportunity to do that. It could be that you will be allowed a chance to vent or talk about what bothered you about this connection, or the feelings that you had about being sort of put off or not being in a serious energy. I feel like when the time comes to speak, make sure you say all of what, you know, you really want to say, what you need to say. And I do feel like you're going to be given that opportunity. It might be like you have it out. Like you might have a little, you know, thing where I feel like Divine Feminine was waiting around for Divine Masculine, and she's kind of stuck, and, you know, he's not moving. He's just being a stubborn person. Yeah, perfect timing. So I feel like in due time that this is definitely coming back so you guys can talk. See, we're getting in the near future. So in the near future, you guys are going to have an opportunity to speak, to talk, to sort of vent out some of these feelings and some of these things that were left unsaid, and this stagnant energy and this waiting type energy. And like, I feel like Divine Feminine's waiting for Divine Masculine to get his shit together, but he's not doing it. He's not ready. I feel like he's in like a college party lifestyle, whether he's in that age group or he's past that age group and he's just immature. I hope that this was helpful. Please let me know what you think. And if you like this, give me a big thumbs up. Let's get on to Aries and Sagittarius. All right, Aries and Sagittarius. Let's talk about some of the energies leading up to separation. Some of the themes and energies that might be being carried here in this connection. Let's talk about that. Okay. I feel like this was very, I don't know, like kind of like a quick break. Like it was sudden, like sort of like a sudden, almost like a disastrous break. When these two severed connection or are just simply not talking anymore. Somebody's being very standoffish about it, like feeling like they have the upper hand and they have more of the reason to be angry, and they also feel like it was chaos and they had to break up the chaos and the monotony, and someone's more just sort of wallowing in the sadness and the grief and the feelings of separation and you know, the pain and the grief of it. But I feel like they're on the mend, okay? There is an energy of them being on the mend. I do feel a third-party situation was happening here. Could have been a cheating type situation, or 3 people were involved and got equally hurt here in this particular union and separation. I also feel like there might have been other people that were involved in this, like trying to put too much into it, or friends giving shitty advice or something like that. I feel like there's a lot of energy surrounding this that didn't need to be. I feel like there was maybe people trying to butt into this or trying to put their opinion into this, and it didn't need to be. It made it worse. I also feel like whoever's in this energy is more standoffish, like I said, where they're like, I know what I feel and I know what was right and I know what I said and I know what I did. And they're more like not bending about it. Okay. There's like not a solution here. There's more like this stagnation of conflict. And I do feel like that person is conflicted, but also brought the conflict out. I feel like you brought conflict out in each other. So something that might have needed to be healed, bringing conflict out. Okay. So let's get the divine feminine into this. And these are sort of like wounds or shadows or things that, you know, energies that she may be in, or, you know, needing a release or healing from, that sort of thing. So divine feminine, empowered and vulnerable. So in the past, divine feminine felt vulnerable in this connection, and her lesson is to empower herself. So in separation, she's supposed to be learning about empowering herself and releasing those feelings of being vulnerable. It could be that the broken heart is making her feel vulnerable. So we're getting more the Aries energy, could be that, or the Sagittarius energy. It doesn't matter how it reads, guys, to you, just whatever resonates, keep it. Know that it's an important message for you. Okay. But yeah, divine feminine, definitely feeling that vulnerability. And she's supposed to learn about taking her power back and taking the reins by the horns and not letting this like put her in a hole of desperation and despair and depression. She's supposed to come out of this strong, fight, be powerful, know her worth, know her strengths. Okay. So part of the lesson here is to know her strengths, but that's some of the ways she's feeling. Now let's get the divine masculine into this and see what's going on with his energy and some things maybe that are shadows or things that need to be healed for the divine masculine in this connection. Got stripped away and secretive. So he might have been keeping secrets. That could be part of the conflict. He could have also been talking to multiple people. This could be multiple people that he was dealing with or talking to or keeping secret. Excuse me, guys. That's what I'm feeling. Because I feel like for him to really realize the impact of this, he has to strip away those old behaviors. Okay. So I feel like this might be something that he does to cope, like with low self-esteem, or something with not feeling his worth, is that he needs to have multiple people. It's almost like I got to have all these little hens around me so I could talk to all of them and feel really good and big, and my ego needs to be stroked. If that makes any sense, guys. And that's the energy I'm picking up. You guys think I'm being funny. I'm not being funny like when I'm being animated. It's the truth. That's what I pick up here. This is somebody that needs to strip away those old ways and those old habits, because they're not helping this person. They're not putting them in a higher state or putting them in touch with their higher self or raising their vibration. They're staying in a more negative vibration, and they're a little bit of a player. That's the energy I'm picking up on. And it definitely made Aries, you know, feel very vulnerable here. So let's talk about some energies maybe to adopt or release for both sides of this, you know, in separation, because the past is important, but learning from the past is equally important. And then we have to talk about the now. So divine feminine, you need to let go of anger. Okay. You could have some anger issues that were mirrored out by your twin, that they could have opened you up. They could have made you angrier than anybody's ever made you in your whole life. I know that my twin does that to me. Certainly they are mirroring from what is inside of me, what is inside of them. So there's anger. And don't forget that these energies here transcend to each other. So if Aries is dealing with anger issues, then so is Sagittarius. If divine feminine is dealing with anger issues, so is divine masculine, if that makes any sense. So yeah, it could be to sort of release old anger and release anger surrounding this connection. Like let go of the anger and what you can't control. And for the divine masculine is self-interest. Yeah, they're putting their needs first. And they're in a toxic energy with that, because they feel like they are needing to have self-importance. They need to feel self-important. And for them, I feel like it doesn't matter if they create a shitstorm around them. It's almost like they're like a puppeteer and they manipulate people around them to serve their needs. Okay. So yeah, a little bit of toxic energy with this, and need for release. So let's get some cards out from work your light work, or sort of to bring some light into this for the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So divine feminine, let's bring some light to you, my beauty. Don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? You might have tried to change yourself for this connection. You might have tried to discredit your talents or your gifts or your smarts or your intelligence or your beauty to make yourself feel more like you can fit into this connection with the divine masculine. His energy, I feel like, is very manipulative over that, okay? So the energy that he is in is not ideal, and I do feel like that might have been what's happening here. You might have been trying to dim yourself to, you know, make yourself more appealing. Like, you can't be a strong, assertive woman, and that's like a threat to somebody that's in this self-interest energy, if that makes any sense. All right, so what are we getting for the divine masculine? Your guidance is divinely guided. So they're like, you know, they're trying to teach lessons. Like, when I say they, I mean spirit, angels, whatever your beliefs are. Higher power is trying to teach lessons to the divine masculine, and they are sort of turning their back on their lessons. I feel like these are repeat patterns for the divine masculine. It could be past lives that they've done this. You know, they could have like a harem of women, and they have this sort of like residual energy, like kind of stinking up for this life, that they're supposed to not be this way. They're supposed to change themselves so that they can enlighten themselves more and get more spiritual energy to progress them down the line on that spiritual path. They're not taking that. They're not into it. They're not acknowledging it, I'll say. But yeah, there's some definitely from past, I feel like past life here with that, like it's in their Akashic record. Okay, so let's get some advice from the angels. This could be timing. This could be just something that the angels want you to hear about this connection. Something that is needed to be said to help you. Okay, so let's see. A year from now, you may have connection a year from now. Okay, it could be that it was a year ago. It could be that it's a year from now, like the card is saying. So it could be that a lot of time needs to pass here, okay, for this divine masculine to grow a little bit and learn some life lessons, possibly to get out of some of these energies, okay? And divine feminine is supposed to take her power back and become powerful and assertive and strong, and you know, all those ways, like a very tough, strong warrior woman, okay, stepping into that power. And listen to your intuition. So, you know, either of you finding this is about developing your intuition and listening to your gut. If something feels wrong, then go with that. If something feels right, then go with that. If you feel like you need to have this connection, but there's this little voice in the back of your head saying, no, don't do it. It's not going to work out, or you're going to be disappointed, or it's going to not be good, then listen to that. If you have a niggle or a feeling that's saying, you know, yeah, I need this, I need to talk, I need this, it's going to happen when the time is right, in a year from now. This is what we're getting. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Please let me know what you think. Give me a big thumbs up if you liked this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell so you can see more readings like this. And check the description box for my private reading information. I'm starting doing readings at $10. And I also have a twin flame separation support group if you're interested in that. I'll leave a link. Thanks so much for watching. Love and light.